Just one batch of this.
Hey, welcome back. We are roasting a dark roasted Brazil natural right now. Dark roasts are harder in general just because you have to manage the heat for a longer period of time. And especially if you have a bean like this one, the Brazil natural, the elevation is at like 1050 meters. It can absorb heat easier. So it's harder. Especially if you have such a powerful machine like I do, this Mill City roaster. Lots of power at your disposal, so you have to be able to control that heat throughout the roast. All right, so we did a 360 charge for this Fahrenheit. My starting heat application was around, I think, 90%. Maybe we can call it 85. But it was basically 2 kPa starting. My max fuel that I can use on this machine with a regulator is 2.5 kPa. So when I roast this Brazil natural, I start with 2 kPa. We're doing this voiceover because the audio is just terrible. I'm still trying to figure out how to record good content at the roaster with it being so loud. And just being in a really tight space. I've got better table, but I'm still working on it so I can get into the roaster and shoot more content there. Okay, I believe we've already hit green to yellow transition. And my heat has gone down to just above 1 kPa. Now, the reason why I'm filming it this way, because I want you guys to see how I will manipulate the heat. With this being all manual control, it's very craft. It's very like on the feel with the senses, and that's how I roast. We're probably approaching first crack, not first crack yet for sure. So what I'm going to show you in a second when the video gets there is you're going to see the gauge of my fuel and you're going to see the time. So I can't show you all three things like the gauge, the time, the roast curve. The roast curve will look what it looks like. I think it's more helpful for you guys to see what I'm doing manually with the fuel right now. When you're first starting out, I think it helps to move in equal measures when you're adjusting your heat. Now you can see where I'm at. I'm at 7 minutes 19. You see that? And look at my fuel. It's kind of hard to tell right there, but it's what? 0.5 kPa. So a half. Now this looks very normal. I should be around this, power level, that temperature there. And my blue knob is just me adjusting the fuel. More fuel, less fuel. Closing and opening the valve. We're approaching first crack. There you go. There's my first crack. Air is up all the way. And now I'm kind of waiting and looking at the ROR to see where I can kind of like mitigate any drop of loss of heat by cranking up the air. So I'll crank up the heat like I just did. Back up to 1 kPa there. A little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Maybe 1.5 kPa. I think I'm going to end up there. And that just helps me as I look at the ROR curve. What direction, how is it falling quickly? Is it rising quickly or slowly? Like I'm going to just look at the behavior of the ROR curve to determine how I should move my fuel. My air is maxed out. Okay. And again, you guys are maybe hearing me talk about this, but like roasting coffee is an art and everyone will develop their own style. And that is okay. I mean, it's okay for me in my little, home roasting setup, not in a professional situation, not being judged by the SCA. Like, it's all right. And it's just styles. from Onyx to Clatch, who are big boys, right, to Drip to Starbucks to home roasters like me. We're all going to have different styles. And how you get there, that's up to you. And that's the beauty of coffee roasting. All right, we're around 9 minutes. We're probably approaching. Trying to ride this out. I will bring up. So with this roast being very dark, we're going to ride out the last phase pretty long, you know. If I was being very meticulous about this, I would have liked to seen at least a 4-minute middle phase. But we got to 3 minutes 30, and I feel like that's all right. It's okay. And when I do these dark roasts like this, you know, this is nothing that I sell online. This is not really my style. This is a customer saying, hey, can you do this for me? You know, that's all this is. And I'm like, okay. You know, not a big deal. Nothing that I would sell. But yeah, this is definitely just really reminiscent in terms of cup quality. Is like, it's still a specialty coffee green, you know, a graded specialty, probably like a 81 or an 82 or something. So it's still starting out with really great ingredients, but we're roasting it to a level that we're going to really take away any nuance. It's going to be dark chocolate, tobacco, maybe like old raisins, you know, not a lot of, no acidity. Maybe a little, with my middle being so kind of like not even hitting 4 minutes, being at 3 minutes 30. It's probably going to have some acidity after it off gassing for like 2 or 3 days. We can maybe get something. Maybe if we brewed this as an espresso, we would get some sort of acidity. But it'd probably be a 2 or 3 on the scale, you know, out of 10. But yeah, see how we're kind of moving the gas around and just trying to look at the behavior of the ROR and see how we could coast this guy out. And again, this is very, very not my style. Not what I would put on the website or anything like that. But this is purely customer preference. I'm just trying to illustrate how one can maybe control the heat at such a long period of time. I think, you know, if you look at my curve, we lost some heat, we lost some momentum, and it's tough because this bean right here is very low elevation. It absorbs heat very quickly, so it can get away from you. You know, it could run away, which is that's something I really wanted to avoid with this roast. I don't want it to run away, so I want to be kind of careful, sort of conservative with my movements. A lot of fuel adjustments. There's probably a better way to do this, but it will require a lot more of me just being at the roaster. And that's really what it is. It's just a lot of time at the roaster, learning how your machine works. It's machine operation at the end of the day. And then when you go to the cupping table and then go and find out, hey, this is completely charred or it needs more acidity, that's where style specialty coffee roasting comes into play, when you input that hard cupping quality and testing. But otherwise, being at the roaster, it's machine operation, learning what your machine can do. All right, here's a look at the coffee. Pretty dark, right? Yeah, I don't sell this normally. It's not my style. But if the customer's happy, I'm happy. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful. All the links in the description. See you next time. Bye. Okay, so summary. We did a 366, 142, 232, dry-in, 432 at 304, first crack 802, 372, Drop 1331, 405. 5 degrees short what I wanted. Loss 15.6. Yeah, I'd rather it be like a solid 16, but yeah, I think it'll be alright.